Welcome in, Slumpbusters. This is your boy Kyle, and we are back with another YouTube quick hitter. The NBA season is now 3 weeks in at this point, and there was some interesting stuff that went down in the last week. So wanted to bring in 5 headlines from the week and react to them here on a Slumpbuster Reacts video, where we talk about the beginning of the NBA season. So number one I have on the list here is the Luca buzzer beater this weekend against the Boston Celtics. If you haven't seen the video, I recommend you go check that out, because Luca hits one of these crazy fadeaway threes that Luca always hits, and then he goes on the microphone afterwards and curses. It is a fantastic video, so you should check that out. But Dallas is again super Luca dominant. He's again one of the top 3 players in the league in usage rate. He's sitting around like 34% right now, which means that the Dallas offense runs through Luca. And even though they re-signed Tim Hardaway this offseason and they tried to bring in a couple people, it hasn't really made much of a difference in terms of trying to make life easier for Luca. I know Jason Kidd's the coach there, and I said when it happened, I'm not sure why we're still giving Jason Kidd coaching jobs, but go watch this video. It just broke the Celtics' heart, and maybe, according to Shams, will be the reason why the Celtics want to trade for Ben Simmons. So number 2 I have on the list is Tyler Herro, because Tyler Herro is like the odds-on favorite for 6th man of the year by a gigantic margin at this point. Miami has brought in Kyle Lowry this offseason. They brought in PJ Tucker. They still have Jimmy Butler. They still have Bam Adebayo. And Miami made a weird move of moving Tyler Herro to the bench, but still giving him starter minutes, which is basically just doing what Lou Will did for like 5 years in his NBA career, where he won 6th man of the year after year after year, and then Eric Gordon started doing that. That's kind of what Miami's moved Tyler Herro to at this point. And Tyler Herro is still Miami's leading scorer this year. He's averaging 22 points a game. Jimmy's averaging 20. Bam Adebayo's averaging another 20. Miami's the only team that's kind of in that realm where they've got 3 players who are really good, but you don't know who their number 1 scorer is. Kyle Lowry's basically just a distributor at this point for Miami, but they're 7-2 at this point because Miami's the only team that added an all-star this offseason of any team. I guess technically the Bulls did, but the Heat were the only team that got an all-star added to the rotation, and it makes their life so much easier upgrading from Kyle Lowry to Goran Dragic. And Tyler Herro, coming off the bench, is a leading scorer. So shout out to the 7-2 Miami Heat. I know power rankings are going to drop next week, so you can check out what happened there. Well, I guess I got to figure out what to do with Miami at this point, because Miami's been really good this year. I don't know if that strategy is going to come in handy once they have to play Kevin Durant or play Giannis Antetokounmpo-led teams, but it's working out so far. So shout out to Tyler Herro and shout out to the 305 Miami Heat right now. Next up, Golden State Warriors. The Warriors are 7-1 at the time of recording this. They are, I think, on a 6-game win streak. They haven't really played any tough opponents, but I had a friend of mine up here in the Bay Area. We were talking about the season. I live over in Sacramento area, so there's a lot of Warriors people who have migrated over, and he was talking about how Jordan Poole was going to have a huge breakout year. I was like, Jordan Poole is a fine player, but he's kind of like a 7th guy in a roster. Like every team has a Jordan Poole somewhere, and Jordan Poole's averaging 18 points a game to start the season, which is really interesting because if you take Jordan Poole adding like 5 to 6 points a game, plus you put Klay Thompson back in the lineup for Golden State, that's a good improvement for Golden State in terms of finding scoring offense so Steph Curry doesn't have to do everything. Now, the Warriors were trying to jump from being like the 9 seed to being the 1 seed, so I don't think this is going to hold up all the way through, but if you've got, the 3rd or 4th best player in the NBA at this point in Steph Curry, and then you can build out the rest from there, that's a good foundation to have. And Golden State is super deep. Otto Porter had 15 points on Sunday. Like Kuminga can't find his way into the lineup right now. Moses Moody can't because you've got so many dudes on the Warriors right now, whether it be Juan T getting his minutes defensively or Kevon Looney coming in. They've just been so good to start the season. So shout out to the Warriors for that. They're 7-1. They've won 6 in a row. They kicked ass this weekend. So good job, Golden State. Number 4, the Kevin Durant, Scottie Barnes video was trending yesterday because Kevin Durant said after playing the Toronto Raptors, he's like, how young is Scottie Barnes? He's 19, 20 and doing what he's doing so far. Like, shout out to Toronto. I know Toronto fans have hated on me because I said that they were a tanking team in our original power rankings video, but Toronto, congratulations. Scottie Barnes has been really, really good. I thought that was a terrible pick because you picked him over Jalen Suggs at pick 4 instead of pick 5, because obviously Toronto gave Fred VanVleet all that money. They drafted Malachi Flynn with their first round pick a year ago, and drafting Scottie Barnes was a little confusing, but I get it now. Scottie Barnes is really, really good. He's athletic. He's basically playing the wing kind of the way that he can handle the ball, but also they don't need him to at this point because they have all these people. But 18 points, 9 rebounds to start his career. He missed a couple games in there due to injury, but he is doing great work for the Toronto Raptors, especially considering that Pascal Siakam has been in and out of the lineup at this point, that VanVleet might get traded coming up here at some point. They got rid of Norman Powell already. They've cleared house a little bit. Obviously, some of the championship holdovers are still there, like OG Anunoby. But even still, what they've done so far this year is better than I thought. Doesn't mean Toronto's good. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. They're probably going to have another top pick in the draft. But if Scottie Barnes is going to be one of your foundational pieces, it looks like Masai Ujiri hit well on that draft pick that I think we thought was not going to turn out so well. So maybe Scottie Barnes has a case for Rookie of the Year. I know Jalen Green's been awesome this year. I know Cade Cunningham's been iffy, but Scottie Barnes, 18-9. That's a pretty damn good start for a top 4 pick. Finally, we have Ricky Rubio and the Cleveland Cavaliers, because Ricky Rubio dropped 37 points on the New York Knicks on Sunday, which he's apparently a Cavalier now, which I knew during the draft, but I'd kind of just forgotten about it. The joke about Ricky Rubio for years is that Ricky Rubio looks like a Spanish telenovela star riding a white horse on a sandy beach. And Ricky Rubio is always going to be just good enough to be a starting point guard, but not really do anything special for you. He was the piece that the Phoenix Suns used to acquire Chris Paul as like a foundation of the trade. So Ricky Rubio was a piece you traded in order to go from missing the playoffs to the NBA Finals by just upgrading from Ricky Rubio to Chris Paul. And Ricky Rubio was then traded to Minnesota, and then he was traded to Cleveland immediately afterwards. And that seems to be the career trajectory of Ricky Rubio coming to a close as a starting point guard in the NBA. But hold the phone, because in the land of Darius Garland and Colin Sexton and 8,000 point guards for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Ricky Rubio found a way to drop 38 points against the New York Knicks. Bing bong on New York's part, because Ricky Rubio is rolling along for the New York Knicks, who are not as good as they seem. I tried to tell you this in the power rankings. I gave the Knicks a top 10 nod because they were like 4-1, but I even feel bad about that because the New York Knicks are not actually that good. Thanks for stopping into this video of the Slumpbuster podcast. Make sure to check out our full library here. Also, check out our partners, the Caveman Coffee Company, and use the promo code with the link in the description to today's episode for a 15% discount on your purchase. Thanks for stopping in, everybody, and we will talk to you again later this week.